Good afternoon, Durham. Welcome to another episode of Durham Unplugged, a chance to get to know your Durham leaders and politicians in a much more relaxed setting. I am your host, Sterling Lee, the Ward 2 Regional Councillor for the town of Ajax. And with me today, I have a very special guest, Rhonda Mulcahy. Rhonda, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Sterling?
I'm good. Did I butcher your last name or did I say that properly?
It's Mulcahy.
Mulcahy.
One. I try to say it like my father-in-law he's from Greystones, Ireland, just south
Okay.
of Dublin. So, and this is Chad.
Hi, Chad. How are you?
He's good. This is our new addition to the household.
Chad looks brand new.
He is brand new. He is 9 weeks old. He's a Boston Terrier, and he's terrible. We call him Bad Chad. It's all kinds of trouble. So
Yeah.
yeah. He's keeping me up all night. I have a newborn.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like having a baby, right? Like that's why I don't want a dog.
Right.
Because I'm already dealing with my baby, and I don't want to deal with another one.
Well, as it turns out, we had arranged to get him quite a few months ago.
Right.
And when it came time to choose him in the litter, we were already under lockdown. So we chose him by photograph. I think we did okay.
Yeah, that's a super cute puppy. And did he come with the
Yeah.
name? Did he come with the name Chad, or you guys gave him the name Chad?
We gave him the name Chad. We have 3 adult kids that are sort of walking around here in the background. So when you have 3 kids in their 20s, this is what you end out with. You end out with Bad Chad.
Aw.
So we picked him up last week. He's been entertaining, a lot of fun. We already have a dog in the house, so this is our second edition.
This is
But
new
the other dog,
hotness. We have old
Yeah.
old and busted somewhere else, but we've got new hotness right here, right now.
well, here she is. Come on, Dixie. Come on up. Say hi.
Dixie and Chad.
Well, Dixie is a rescue. There she is.
Aw. Hi, Dixie.
She is a mountain cur. So she's a black-faced mountain cur, and she's her breed's used for hunting bear or wild boar. But in this case, it's just for hunting, scraps in the kitchen, I think. But
I was gonna ask, do you guys have a wild boar issue in Whitby that I'm not aware of?
there's a wild boar issue where I live. No,
Yeah.
she's been fantastic, but we felt she needed some company, so we made this mistake.
And sorry, did you guys pick the names of Dixie and Chad? And if so, like why those names?
So Dixie came with the name, and
Okay,
she was in a kill shelter down in South Carolina, and she came up through an organization here in Whitby that was looking after bringing animals across the border that were in kill shelters to have them adopted and rescued. So we rescued her about 3 years ago, and she was already, I think, a couple years old. And then we found out that she had been living down in this village or this area in South Carolina where she was on the loose for like over a year, and they couldn't catch her.
Hunting boars.
Yeah. I think she was more like she was hunting garbage.
Right.
So I think like they all knew she was there, and they couldn't catch her, and they finally caught her, and then she got put into the shelter and then into the system, and gratefully we got her.
But how did she make it from South Carolina all the way to Whitby, Ontario?
Well, it was through this organization in Canada that rescues the animals out of the kill shelters down in the States.
Oh, okay. That's super cool.
Yeah. So she was gratefully that she was rescued, and and she's been an amazing pet. She's been the first 6 to 8 months. She got away a lot. We were running after her constantly. I had Team Chelsea helped me find her several times. She became known on Facebook in Brooklyn as Dixie, the one that just is always running away.
Right.
So,
Like the littlest hobo. I'm sure Dixie was
Yeah.
helping people like
Oh
on
my
adventures
goodness,
throughout, right?
That's what she was, but she's right here now getting pet. But she was, she ran a lot, and I think she was just uncomfortable, uneasy, and it took her a long time to settle in. But I would say in the last year or so, she's not tried it once.
Right.
And she's just been amazing. So I'm very grateful for Dixie, because she's become this old soul in our house. And then we bring this guy in, and she looks at us like, what have you done?
Yes. Why do I disturb this balance?
What have you done? Because he chews things, and he's trouble, and he's, but he's adjusting. We'll get there. But as you can tell, I'm an animal lover.
Yes.
I love my dogs. So, and I love my kids, but they're not babies anymore. These are my babies. So
I love how you had to say that in passing. I love my kids for sure, but look at Chad. Look at Chad right now.
Yeah, well, I'm not you, Sterling. My kids are a lot older now. I used to be where you were, so I'm not there anymore. But I have three kids that are in their 20s. At the time, I had three kids under 4 years old. So, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it that way, but that
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Because I'm
they
trying to
were.
think like under the COVID of having three kids under 4 years old, that would have been impossible. Like I'm just gonna say the word
Oh,
impossible. I'm sure people are doing it, and God bless them. They are absolutely the heroes right now. But I can't even fathom that.
neither can I. I've had a few people, like there's some social media groups up here in the north end of Whitby that are very focused on moms, right? Brooklyn moms.
Right.
And there's been lots of commentary on there. And I keep laughing, going, I'm so glad. I'm so
Yeah.
glad I don't have little ones right now. And it's not that, I love that age and I love little kids, but it would just be so challenging. And I take my hat off to you. Well, not literally, because it's pretty bad these days, but I take my hat off to you, Sterling, because I know you're in that boat. You're at home with the little one, and it's a handful.
And like I admittedly, he's been very well behaved. Like in spite of all this, like he's been great. But just like just there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of stress, anxiety that comes with just being under the quarantine pandemic, and then to have a kid on top of that, you're just like trying not to, you know, let them feel what feel the anxiety you're feeling, right? So I think that's the hardest part of anything. But he's been good. He's napping now, so it's my 2 hours of break, and I get to spend it talking to you.
I'm sure there's probably other things that would be more
Not
interesting.
not not at not at all, not at all. So Rhonda, our history goes back. I don't know if you remember, our first day of regional council was the orientation, and they did not have a seat for me for some reason. Everyone had their name cards out, and they forgot mine, so they jammed me in the corner. And I had the privilege of sitting next to you, and we got to know each other at the time.
That's
And
right.
yes, you are a first-time regional councilor as well, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah, we were green together.
we were absolutely green together. But you also skipped local council, didn't you? You weren't a local council first, were you?
I was elected in 2016 in a by-election in Whitby into
Right.
the local council. So
You had half a term, I
I had
guess.
half a term before I ran regionally. So yeah, pretty fast.
Right. So yeah, we bonded over that of just being new regional counselors and just taking it all in. And then you also you mentioned that your one of your kids is a avid athlete, like a runner. Is it running? Am I mistaken that?
Well, he runs. He was fifth at OFSA in high school. He was York for cross country. He
Cross
was
country,
York.
that's right.
Yeah, he was York Region champ every year at because he went to Bill Crothers for sports, and he started at Bill Crothers because he was he was a national speed skater, short track speed skater, and the whole family was involved. So all three kids skated. My husband was a coach, and I'm a national level certified judge, so finish line judge. So
What?
yeah,
We never talked about that.
a level 3 speed skating judge. Did you know that?
No. So like
So,
how does one become a level 3 like speed skating? Obviously you went through
oh,
level 1 and 2 first, presumably, but
it takes a long time. We were in the sport for 12 years, and it took me almost all of those years to get to that level. And it was hours and hours and hours of just training at meets on the ice with other judges. And I went to a lot of long-term athlete development seminars and a lot of Speed Skate
so
Canada
it was actually
events.
concurrent with your son speed skating. You went
Right.
finding judge. Is it
Yeah.
just because you wanted to be more involved, or you just were fascinated by
Well,
it?
with that sport, it's a lot like a track and field meet. So you get there in the morning and you're there all day. So
Right.
you get to the arena at like 7 a.m. so that you're warmed up and ready to get on the ice. And then you race a 30-second race, and then you sit for an hour and a half, and then you race another 30-second race. And so the day is very long, and you don't get back to your hotel until like 6:30. So if you're going to be there all day long, you feel like I'm not just one to sit and let other people do things for me or do
Right.
things for my kids. So, it was like, yeah, give me a clipboard. I'm in. Sure. Why not? And so you just, through attrition, you end out helping. And there's doers and then there's not doers, right? So I'm one of the doers, and so is my husband. We just can't sit still and do nothing. So we got involved and we started officiating. And yeah, I ended up becoming a level 3 judge. My husband's a coach, but he's also a level 2 track steward. You know, the guys that are always out on the ice, clearing the ice for the track.
Get out of here. Now,
Yeah.
all three kids are in speed skating. Did you guys have an affinity for speed skating, like growing up? Like why? Like I would never think to put my kids specifically in speed skating, right? Like why that specifically?
Well, our daughter was about 5 when we got her into it. She's 24 now.
You
So
hesitated there. You hesitated a little bit there, Rhonda.
I had to think. So she was about 5, and we had just watched the Olympics, and we watched Katrina Lemay double gold, and she was such an inspiration. And this might have been before your time, Sterling. I'm not sure. Anyhow,
I'm no spring chicken, for the record. Don't let my baby face fool you.
Anyhow, she was lights out. She was amazing in that Olympics. And, you know, I looked at her and I looked at my daughter and said, no, you're not going to be a petite figure skater, or, you know, and you don't want to get in aggressively with hockey. So let's try this. Let's try an individual sport. So we put her on the ice, and of course my kids are close together, right? So it was very quickly, we had Liam on the ice. So it was Sarah, and then Liam, and then Keegan, and all 3 of them are on the ice. And the great part about it was the whole family was at the same practice at the same time. We were at the same meet at the same time. We were traveling to the same towns at the same time. So we were a unit, and we still are a unit, very much so. That's
like,
who we
like
are.
the Von Trapps, only instead of
Like
singing,
the
you guys were
Traps,
skating
but on ice.
and not running from Nazis at the time. So yeah, it's a lot of parallels.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. Liam ended up being a silver bronze medalist at nationals when he was about 14. And that's about the time he started at Carruthers. He was amazing to watch, but he was getting pretty tall for short track speed skating, because we're not tiny people. And so it became more and more challenging for him to hold those corners. And he was cross training on his bike, and decided, you know what, I really love being on my mountain bike. So I want to try that. I want to try racing on my mountain bike.
Of course.
Well, of course. Why not?
As
so
one
we
would
decided
want to.
to triple sport him, and he was training 3 sports at once. And he was doing incredibly. Obviously, he was at OFSA. He was, you know, doing all these things. And anyhow, he rose in the ranks in mountain biking, and he's been on Team Canada a few times for mountain biking. He's raced the World Cup, and he's coaching shredders here in North Whitby. And he's still competing, and his girlfriend's competing. And yeah, it's a really remarkable sport. We know Dave Barton quite well because his nephew raced with Liam.
Right.
On Team Canada quite often at the same time at the World Cup. So, you know, I've known Dave for quite some time, and his brother Wayne. And yeah, so Liam's a mountain biker, and yeah.
Really making me feel guilty right now about not even remotely working out these past like 4 weeks. So this is my motivation right here. This is my coming to God moment.
Hey man, I am like really hurting. I need to get out and move more. I find that you get stuck in your house, and you're I'm not moving as much as I need to be. So, and I don't think this polar vortex is helping us at all.
No, right. It's cold, right? I remember that gorgeous day we had last Sunday, and I was like, here it is, you know, summer's here, we can relax. And now it's like, it was like -2 at one point today. And I was like, this is the worst.
Yeah, especially when you have a little one, right? Like you got to bundle them all up and then go out, and, you know, where are you going really? You're not going too far. So
we have like a storm sewage, like we have a storm pond right by us. So we just take rocks and throw it into the pond. Now, it's amazing. My kid can be enamored with that for an hour. So that really eats up an hour of the time. So it's not too bad. But I wish we could do more. But, you know, we're all in the same boat.
I see baseball in your future.
No, I'm trying to get him to basketball, because basketball is like the cheapest sport to get into. You got to buy a pair of shoes, got to buy a ball, and that's it, right? Because like hockey and lacrosse, like I just see all that equipment, and they outgrow it like each year, I imagine, or like, you know, a few years. And yeah, so I'm just being really frugal with his sporting. So either basketball or I can't even say anything, or volleyball. Those are the 2 cheap ones.
How old is he now?
2.5. He has plenty of time.
2.5. You got lots of time. And, you know, I have a kid on the World Cup. I speak from experience here. Just put him out there on the grass with a ball, any kind of ball, and run around and have fun.
Well,
like,
that's what his dad is good at. Not so much on actually being athletic, but having fun. That's the easy part for me.
yeah, yeah. If you just keep it fun, it'll just happen, and you're just active with them. And I think that's what we did with our kids anyhow. We were just always with them, always playing, and always trying new things. Our kids were on skates at a year and a half. Our kids were riding bikes without training wheels by 3.
So
So,
this is my very public shame. I can't even ride a bike at the age of 38. So yeah, I'm
oh,
hoping my wife will teach him, and then he'll just be off without me.
I can teach you. Would you like me to teach you how to ride a bike?
So many people have offered, but I feel they're offering me ironically, like they just want to see me fall. Because everyone's like, I think Mayor Collier was like, "Yeah, I'll teach you, and we can film it." And I was like, "No, I don't want that. I don't want to do that."
No. Why would you volunteer for that? No
No, I
way.
didn't. Thank goodness. I think I'm gonna try and privately learn. Like I understand the mechanics of how to ride a bike, and I think I could. It's just one of those things where I've never had the opportunity to since never learning. But one day, you know what? I think I'm gonna learn concurrently with my kid because then I don't want to
You
be
know who you should go talk to? You should go talk to Malia Shahid in Whitby, because she doesn't know how to ride a bike either. And
nice.
it's because of her upbringing, right? Her
Right.
cultural upbringing. And she said, I really want to learn how to ride a bike. And I said, well, I'm your girl. I'll help you, and I won't film you.
We're gonna start a support group for
Yeah,
Durham politicians who can't ride a bike.
that's right. That's right.
It's gonna be
So
like four
there's
of
no
us.
pressure.
No pressure at all. So Rhonda, you mentioned your husband. How long have you been married for?
We celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary in September.
25 years.
We dated 8 years before that.
Your relationship is almost as old as I am.
Yeah, yeah. So long time.
Yes.
Well, we grew up together. So, we're both old Brooklyn. We both grew up in Brooklyn, and it was a very small town. So even though he went to the Catholic school and I went to the public school, we knew
Right.
each other. And, it was, you had limited sources of friends to hang out with. So that's what we did. We hung
So
out.
you guys
And
were high school sweethearts, actually.
yeah, we were.
That's
Yep.
adorable.
Aw.
Do you remember your first date? Like, did you guys go see a movie, go to the mall? What do?
I believe we were at a house party, actually a barn party. There you
Okay.
go. At a horse farm up here in Brooklyn. So, yeah.
Now you're talking to a Chinese kid who grew up in Markham, so I have no idea what a barn party is. I can figure it out, but yes.
Yeah. It's basically, I think at the time it was probably parents were away, and we hung out in the barn with all the other kids from high school. So,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, it was very limited in what you could do around here. There was no transit. There
Yeah.
was no way to get out of town unless you had a car. And that was kind of frowned upon. I mean, that was the 80s, and there was a lot of, drinking and driving and that sort of stuff going on back then. So,
Yeah, too much of
we
it.
found things to do locally if we could.
And then, did either of you go away for school, or you guys managed to stay together, like just as a unit all those years?
Oh, you're going to love this one. We're both Durham College grads.
You guys went through the whole Durham system.
Oh yeah, we've done the whole system. So my husband went to Durham. He took mechanical technology, and he runs ABB in Whitby, which is a division of a multinational company, probably most known for robotics. But his division is in the steel industry. They do electromagnetic stirring. His father patented electromagnetic stirring in the 60s, and that was just after he left Co-Steel. He was one of the 5 founding engineers that built Lasco, which is now Gerdau.
Whoa.
So, yeah, local.
Yeah. And what did you
Yeah.
take in Durham College?
I took graphic design.
Okay.
And it led me to working in, I was in packaging and some, I did a lot of stuff for the East Coast, actually. I did a lot of stuff for Midland Transport and SMT way back. And then found a job at the Port Perry Star, where I became good friends with the owner of it at that time, which was Peter Vidston. He also had a gentleman up there that worked for him that he's passed since, but his wife is Bobby Drew.
Oh, you're entrenched in the Durham region fabric.
So I knew Bobby's husband back then. And so I started working for the Port Perry Star, and I worked there for quite a few years actually, and it sold and sold and sold, and then I started having children, and back then you only had 6 months maternity leave. I'm
Crazy.
glad that that's changed,
Yeah, me
because
too.
it really determined my career back then, because when you have one kid, it's tough. When you have two in daycare, and it becomes financially at that age, you got to be making a lot of money to put them into daycare. And then when I just threw in the towel and said, why not, let's just have the third one.
Right.
So anyhow, that was in 2000 when we had Keegan, and that same year I started my own newspaper in Brooklyn called the Brooklyn Town Crier.
Cool.
And yeah, and so the rest is history. The newspaper sort of led me into being really involved with the political scene locally, and spent many, 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 many hours in council chambers prior to running for council. So knew the system fairly well, sort of walked in knowing what I was doing, knowing what the job was,
Right.
which is really rare for a first-time councillor.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, yeah, and I walked in mid-term too, which is not easy to do. So, and you kind of hit the ground running, and that's what I did.
I haven't looked back since, right?
No, I'm come from a sports family. It's like
Competitiveness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how your husband proposed to you? So it's 25 months or 25 years and 8 months ago. I guess it was a while, when you guys got married. But how did the proposal happen?
That might not be fit for this show.
Oh, fair enough. It was romantic. That's all we need to know.
Well, yeah, he proposed that he had an apartment, and I was just over there having dinner, and it was nothing really lights out special. We were best friends,
right.
And we still are best friends. So he, I think he handed me a ring box and got down on a knee. So
Aww.
yeah, he's a sweet guy. He cooks for me every night. He's incredible.
Oh, he's the cook.
Yeah, he's the cook, and he is a fantastic cook. So yeah.
Yeah, my wife is very much a fantastic cook as well. And I don't really cook. Like, I've started to learn like the basics, but I just don't enjoy the process. I actually prefer cleaning a kitchen more than cooking. So she'll cook, and then afterwards I'll clean up and put on a podcast or something, or put music and just do my own thing for a bit.
So do you help prepare the meal?
No, I will watch Finn as she's preparing, and then we'll all eat dinner together. It's been the good part of the quarantine is that, generally she'd be working in Toronto, doesn't get back to like 6:15, and he normally eats around 5:45. So him and I would start dinner first, and then she would join afterwards. So it's been nice having like family dinners together, even though he doesn't eat anything. Like, I assume that's universal, right? Like, I always have to remind myself that like the problems I'm going through are hardly unique. Every kid goes through them, and it's just he'll outgrow it, I hope.
He will. I mean, you'll be in a position where I am, where I'm locked up with these hooligans that eat us out of house and home now. So
yeah,
my boys are both like 6'3" and
athletes.
They're
burning through those calories, right?
Yeah, they do. So it's you'll be happy when he starts eating for a little while, and then it'll kick in that, wow, the grocery bill is outrageous. But yeah, you know what? I feel this very much the same way right now, Sterling. I feel like I have first world problems.
Yeah, totally.
And the reality of what's going on right now around us is scary. And there's a lot of people right now that are in crisis.
Yep.
We have some good things going on. People are stepping up to help, and I spend quite a bit of time, money, and energy on helping where I can. But yeah, like, realistically, I'm very grateful for what we have in our household.
Mm-hmm. No, totally. I without a doubt agree. It's I always remind my wife, like, as tough as we have it, like, unfortunately, I just spoke on Zoom just a few days before this with a parent in my ward who has a heavily autistic son, and she was just saying that, I've slept 4 hours in the past like week, and
yeah.
I can't even imagine, right? And yeah, there's all these benefits, and unfortunately there's certain families that are slipping through the cracks, and we're trying to draft a letter right now to encourage the province to look after these families, because we got to start with the most vulnerable and then work our way up. And you and I are very much we're good. You know, as much as we're stressed and everything, we don't really need anything. So, and we're very grateful for that too. So, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
keep plugging away. That's what we can do. But
Yeah.
anyway, we're bringing everyone down right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm
I
joking, of
just, you
course.
know what, it feels weird talking sunshine and bubbles when all this other stuff's going on around us. But yeah, no, you're right. Let's keep it light.
Well, no, that's why I started this, was just ultimately, I was going crazy in my home, not talking to
Uh,
people. And then you start getting paranoid, like, oh my God, it's like everything, you know, but everyone, we're all in the same boat. Just stay at home, be safe. But I don't really know much about you. Like, do you enjoy movies, television? Like, what do you sit down and watch? I'm very much
as,
pop culture focused, so I'm always curious what a Rhonda.
well, he takes the remote, and
Ah, got it.
we end up watching, and I'm not going to complain. We watch Jeopardy every night.
Nice.
Every
Are you good at
we
Jeopardy? I'm
well,
quite good at Jeopardy, I feel.
I'm not too bad. It's a competition in our house, so it's are you fast at Jeopardy?
Right.
So and it's fun. And now that the kids are older too, we find that some of the subject lines are more geared towards them sometimes.
Yes.
And they got me. So we watch Jeopardy, and we watch oh boy, we watch a few things while we're cooking dinner, because
Okay.
I
Yeah,
help cook.
you're the prep cook.
I prep cook, and he puts it together and makes a giant mess, and I clean it up. But we have the TV on watching Jeopardy while we're doing this. And then, and in the evenings, quite often it will be a Velocity channel. Are you familiar with that?
No, I don't have cable. I'm very much a
No.
streamer only, or streaming only. But what is the Velocity channel? Is that
It's
like car
it's all
racing?
car related. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, because we have a classic car, and so we're always watching car shows, and I love cars,
Okay.
but it gets a little mind numbing. So quite often I will be, flipping through my phone while the car show is on, because it's like a little too much for me.
What kind of classic car do you have?
We have a 68 Camaro coupe.
I'm gonna pretend I know what that is. I'm gonna look it
Okay.
up after we're done and be like, oh, that's crazy. That's super cool.
Yeah, it's a muscle car. So it's been taken apart this winter. He's done some stuff underneath, and it will drive a lot better, I hear, once the brakes are done this weekend. So, yeah, I'll have it out soon. Yeah, you want me to come by?
I really do, because I've never I'm not really a car guy. It's always been like A to B for me, but I always respect the work that goes into cars and people who really maintain cars. Do you take it like if there's a Whitby parade, would you take that out for the parade, or?
Generally, no. I
Okay.
generally, I've taken it to some local car shows, but I usually try to go fly under the radar when I do. Um, I'm kind of like, I don't like to, I'm a little shy about showing people what I have sometimes. I think it
Yeah.
can be really, but there's a lot of folks in Whitby with classic cars, and I've gotten to know quite a few of them, and we have some fun together, and they know I'm on council, but I generally, as a councillor, I don't drive around in my car going, look at me.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely don't in my Hyundai.
yeah, I just think it might be a little bit obnoxious.
Right.
So,
No, I don't disagree with that. So that's
yeah. So, but we enjoy it, and we generally usually in July, we go down to Syracuse, New York, to this big car show called Nationals. But we won't be going this year, so
Of
we'll
course.
be trying to find places to drive around in our car.
In Syracuse, do you stop by the Carousel Mall?
There's another mall there that's really close by, and they actually shuttle bus you over to the mall because.
Oh, well, I just remember like my sister went to Syracuse University, so I know she lives in upstate New York, so I just have random facts. But yeah, it's just a mall with a carousel in it, and I just remember loving that place. But do you guys eat at Dinosaur Barbecue?
Yes, we go to Dinosaur Barbecue.
It's my favorite.
I'm not a vegan. No, I'm
No,
not a vegan.
no, obviously neither am I.
Yeah, we go to Dinosaur Barbecue. It's always on the hit list. So
Yeah.
we usually, the whole gang of us will go. There's about 10 cars that go down from here to Syracuse every year. So we all stay in the same hotel, and we have our fire pits, and we go to the show all day long and look at cars and look at
You guys
cars.
travel as a caravan from like Durham.
Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. it's simple, it's wholesome, and we have our dinosaur barbecue, and then we
Yeah.
usually do like a potluck, and yeah, it's fun.
I love going to the States, like just to eat at chain restaurants, just because their portions are so obnoxiously large. And like
You probably
I
do
never
that.
leave a US restaurant feeling like hungry. Like I'm just like stuffed.
You probably shouldn't be doing that. How's your sister doing in upstate New York then?
She's good. So she is a federal prosecutor for the New York
Wow.
State. Yeah, I'm very much the underachiever of my family.
Wow.
It's and yeah, even though I am an elected official, it doesn't mean anything. So yeah, she prosecutes like federal crimes, like I can't even name them all, but I know she does, like I know she did like uh sex offenders and like child pornographers, and like she had to deal with that, and it's just like she was just, I'm always shocked how someone can have like such an awful job in a sense, like dealing with these people and not bring it home, because she's always like a ray of sunshine when she comes home. But yeah, so she's doing well. They're stuck in their, you know, their small town of 1,200, and then she drives into work I think like once or twice a week, and yeah,
Yeah. Different world.
different world. I mean,
Hmm.
she's very jealous of our leadership versus her leadership, but I will keep it at that without getting too
We will
political.
get into that.
We'll leave it at that. Well, I guess our time is. This has flown by, Rhonda. Like it's you've been captivating. Is there a restaurant or a nonprofit you like to plug? And we'll put the information at the bottom.
I would like to plug United Way.
Okay.
And the reason why is because I've always given to United Way over a long period of time, because they give to all the other charities that are
Yes.
in need. So they're very good at identifying where the need is and making sure that it gets to them. And I think that United Way is, with GM closing in Oshawa, there was a lot of employees giving through GM. And I think it's been a hard couple of years. And then with this on top of it, the need is even greater. So United Way, for sure.
And do they have a Whitby chapter, or just the United Way in general?
There's the Durham Region chapter of
Durham
United
region.
Way. Yeah. And it will
Great.
go to all the places that need help in Durham Region.
We are also Facebook friends, and I see that you often promote about different restaurants you've been going to support local business. What's a good Whitby restaurant you can suggest?
Oh boy, they're all so good.
So
We got
rather than the best one, how about the most recent one?
okay, so I'm going to plug, let's see, Bollocks, because I don't think anybody's plugged Bollocks yet. And
BLLOCKS?
yep, yep.
Okay.
And I think they have one in Pickering as well, but there's one in Whitby on Taunton Road at Baldwin, and they have great food, and yeah, they're doing curbside pickup and delivery.
What did you get when you got Bullocks?
Well, we got a bunch of different meals, but I like their lobster mac and cheese. It's great.
Oh, you had me at lobster.
Hmm.
Gonna put lobster mac and cheese just for my notes. And where can people find you online?
Facebook, I'm Rhonda Stevens Mulcahy,
Mhm.
and I think Instagram and Twitter, I'm Rhonda Mulcahy. You'll find me. That's a very unique name, Mulcahy.
Mulcahy, correct?
You got it.
Not K, Ka.
Ka.
And what do you know?
Mulcahy.
Do you know the history of that name? You said it was Irish, but does it mean anything, or?
I'd have to ask my father-in-law what the history of. I think he's got dukes and everything in his background.
Right.
That's. But in Ireland, a duke wasn't what you think it was, because you were basically still poor amongst the folks. So yeah, he grew up in Ireland. He actually remembers watching the Germans turn around over Ireland when they were bombing England.
Oh,
So yeah. So good history. I could give you a half hour on him sometime, but
next time you come on, we'll definitely have you, talk about him.
yeah, he's great.
Perfect. Well, again, if you want to find me, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Your Voice for Ajax, the number 4. And please like, subscribe, comment if you have any feedback. And Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us. This was a blast.
Thanks for having me, Sterling. You take care.
So on behalf of Durham Unplugged, we will see you next time.